Hello and welcome back to Best Era Football. This is week number 3, and we are bringing you the 1999 Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the 1998 Minnesota Vikings. Two teams going in opposite directions here in Best Era Football as the 1999 Buccaneers have lost their first two games. The 98 Vikings have won each of their first two and looked impressive offensively in both of those. The Buccaneers have looked terrible on offense, quite honestly. So it's going to have to be a lot of pressure on the Buccaneers defense, which, I mean, the team is built on their defense, so no surprise there, but they're going up against a great offense. Now, the Buccaneers did start Best Era Football putting Sean King in as their quarterback. He lost each of the first two games, and so they have gone back to Trent Dilfer for this one. So let's see if that makes a difference for the Bucs. The Vikings, of course, rolling with Randall Cunningham.
Takes us to one of the newest jewels on the NFL landscape, U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. The scene a short time ago. This
was, of course, the first of the early games. Not all the early games have been played, so you'll see some scores, but other scores you'll have to wait until we bring you the second early game, which will be the undefeated 84 Miami Dolphins against the winless 85 New York Jets. Here comes Randall Cunningham in 2 games. He's piled up 587 yards with 6 touchdowns. He has thrown 2 picks. So with Dilfer starting today, he will join Cunningham as the only quarterback to start for different teams in Best Era Football, as he's made, obviously starts with the Baltimore Ravens, and Cunningham is the starter both here and on the 1990 Philadelphia Eagles. So a unique game here with teams that have quarterbacks that also start for other teams in the league.
Minnesota had a very optimistic vision of what they would do on offense in 2016, but a couple of key injuries altered that landscape. Running back Adrian Peterson and quarterback Teddy Bridgewater.
Now, if you think about it, Trent Dilfer's on the 99 Buccaneers here. He's also on the 2000 Ravens. It's only a year difference. Not much difference in his ability or anything, just a difference in the team that he's on. So relatively the same player. The different story for Cunningham. It's a 8-year gap. The 1990 Eagles Cunningham will scramble more, overall more athletic, but the 98 version, of course, a little bit more awareness and experience, and relies on his playmakers, which he has plenty of. So he does not need to run around and make things happen himself as much. Drops back here. He'll sling it towards the sidelines, and John Lynch. John Lynch tipped it. I think Abraham caught it, but with 1 foot out of bounds. Let's see this replay here. Cunningham. Lynch tips it. Ooh. His left, just part of his left foot was out of bounds. So that's a good start for the Buccaneers defense. Not intimidated by this Viking offense, at least on the first drive. Another thing going against the Bucs in this game is their star corner, Rondé Barber, is still out for the next couple of weeks with an injury. Now they do have Kelly as a third corner who will turn into a starter today. And he is not bad. Dilfer has not played any of the first 2 games, so Keane started and finished them as bad as he looked. But Dilfer will play this game. And they'll throw on the very first play, and he completes it.
And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. The numbers for him from a week ago. 5 catches, 57 yards.
And what we just saw there was exactly what they need against this defense. Big plays. They were able to pick up a first down on that one.
Quick hitter here, it's complete. And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
You'll see some scores as the 2017-18 schedule, which is what Madden 18 uses, did have the Jaguars and Ravens play in London, so that game is final, or will be final soon. There's Dilfer taking off, running all kinds. There's no defense on that side of the field, and Dilfer ends up getting 27 yards.
A very solid gain of 27.
Now Dilfer is an underrated athlete. I mean, he is decently mobile, but I would say King is the better of them as far as mobility goes. But Dilfer comes out and he throws a nice pass on his first play, and then he shows King that he can run too, and now he's going to take off running again. But that's not the best decision as it results in a sack. What I was going to say is you'll see there's some games going on. There's also games that are final, the two that are final. An epic Thursday night game, which you can certainly watch on the channel if you have not yet. And if you haven't, turn this off and go watch that, because you're going to get a score highlight here soon. That was a great game. And then the Ravens and Jaguars are also over. And you'll see when you get that highlight.
You usually get a great product out on the field, and when they play well, the quarterback can't wait to feed them
1999 Jaguars are the first team to lose their third game of best era football. A terrible 0-3 start. Bucks are trying to avoid that same start. Well, Tony Dungy made the change, and Dilfer is 4 for 4, and he also has 27 yards scrambling, so this was exactly perhaps a genius move by Dungy to go back to, or to go to Dilfer after King was not getting it done here in best era football. Real life 1999, Dilfer was the majority of the starter. He started 10 games. King started 6. King was the starter in the playoffs. The defense of the Vikings, Hitchcock and Fuller are your corners. Thomas and Griffith are pretty solid safeties.
Offense walks to the line for play number 7 of the drive.
2nd and 10. Now against the Vikings, every time you're down here, you need to get in the end zone, because they will put up points even if you think you have a great defense. So as good as this drive has been, if the Bucks only get 3 out of it, I'm still going to consider the Vikings heavily the favorite.
What we just saw there, because this has been a pretty long drive, and normally you think that wears down a defense. In this case, looked like the offensive line let him down. And he's wrapped up, taken down, back in the 20.
Now these players have definitely played each other in real life. 98 Vikings, 99 Buccaneers. They certainly know each other. It's not just 1 year apart. In 98, the one regular season game the Vikings lost was to the 98 Buccaneers. So
They had more guys there than they could block.
The play clock's running down.
could say there is some history.
Knocks it through the goalpost, and the Bucks take a 3-0 lead. So in the end, they had the ball for 10 plays, but the drive only yields 3 points.
Yeah, they were able to move the football, but the defense stiffened once their backs were to the end zone, and they were able to hold them to just 3.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away.
It was, of course, in Tampa, that game in 98. They lost 27-24. That 3-point loss was what stopped them from being undefeated. And then, of course, they lost in the championship game to the 98 Falcons, which cost them from a Super Bowl appearance. I was very much looking forward to a Broncos-Vikings Super Bowl in that year of 98. However, watching best era football, you see the 98 Vikings, who did not make the Super Bowl that year, are 2-0. The 98 Broncos, who won the Super Bowl that year, are 0-2. And playing the Buffalo Bills right now as we speak.
Now that's staying ahead of the chains. Really good pickup on first down, hitting the tight end there. Now brings up a second and
maybe a little bit of revenge for the 98 Vikings. Here in the best era tournament season, if you will. And that's another thing that can happen here. I mean, there are multiple teams from the same years. I mean, obviously the Broncos won it in 97 and 98. You're not going to put the 97 and 98 Broncos both in here, as only one team can use Broncos uniforms. So you could possibly have a team like the 1990 Bills or the 1998 Vikings, 84 Dolphins. You could have someone that did not even win the Super Bowl that year win the whole thing. Now the 98 Vikings situation would be even more strange, as the champions from that year are in here. I mean, the 84 Dolphins, there are no 84 Niners. There's the 89 Niners. But at least if the 84 Dolphins won, you'd be like, well, the 84 Niners weren't in there. That's why. There's Allstott breaking one tackle, and then he stiff arms his way across the 15. So a nice 12-yard gain from Mike Allstott. So it has been a good start by the Bucs here. They've put not much, but they have put some points on the board. They've controlled the clock, and their defense has shut down the Vikings on the first couple drives here. Now they would like work done to get going a little bit, but not a bad start so far. Dilfer will throw again, and he completes his pass, but short. Dilfer off to a 5 of 6 start. He also, of course, had that 27-yard scramble, which helped get the field goal.
What a catch, especially the finishing part.
Now he's got to come up on third down. These are important against this team or any team with a great offense. He scrambles over, and then nice throw. I think he could have ran for the first down, but Dilfer really playing well right now. Kept his eyes downfield and completed it for 29 yards rather than maybe a 7 or 8 yard run. Dilfer has certainly impressed me so far this first quarter, and I think Dungy is happy with the decision. And King may be the only one in the Tampa Bay uniform that's not overly excited about Dilfer's performance.
Just make sure you throw it up there, you know, kind of like put it up on the top shelf where the kids can't get it.
They'll look to throw here.
Dilfer is going to be sacked. That's Derek Alexander's second sack already, and we're still in the first quarter. The Vikings, as a team, have 3 sacks. Vikings known for their offense, but they certainly have some big-time players on defense as well. And you don't go 15-1, you're only lost by 3 points without having good people on both sides of the ball. Dilfer almost threw an interception there, and that's the thing with Dilfer. He can look good at times, which he has so far, but then he will throw the interception.
And the punt team on now as this one's sent away.
It's a good punt. Can they down it? Very nice. Royals with a nice punt. They get it down at the 4-yard line. All right, so 2 drives, haven't mounted to anything yet for the Vikings. The Bucs have taken some time off the clock, done nice things such as getting punts inside the 5, putting this into more of a fist fight, smash mouth game rather than a shootout, which is something they could not win against the 98 Vikings. It's the kind of game you have to play if you're the 99 Bucs. Cunningham from his own end zone. He will, nice closing speed from Abraham as he's able to knock that away.
They did almost everything right. Excellent.
Now the Vikings have put up their stats against good defenses. They played the 92 Saints and the 97 Steelers. Both teams' stronger side of the ball is their defense, and the Vikings haven't cared. But the 99 Buccaneers are doing things to them. Cunningham just gets that out of bounds. And that's 3 drives and no first downs for the Vikings.
The Vikings send out their punter as he'll come on to
So
kick
again, they
this
can
one
score
away.
quickly. I mean, they can put 2 to 3 touchdowns up in any quarter. So 3-0 doesn't mean anything, but it's still an impressive first quarter. At least going to cause Dennis Green to make adjustments. There you see the great Thursday night game. Hopefully you've watched it before seeing that score. And there's the Jacksonville Jaguars starting off 0-3. But the Thursday night game was just absolutely wonderful between 99 Rams and the 89 49ers. Dilfer will throw it right to the purple jersey, and it's going to be a pick six. Oh, Dilfer. Well, you get the good and the bad. Dilfer's got the stronger arm.
That's going to be one of the great mysteries, but I do know this. When they went out on offense, I was guaranteed
overall the more typical or prototypical quarterback.
Before you throw it.
And he can even go through stretches looking really good, but then there's that. King most likely throws it into the ground or just takes up running. Dilfer will try those throws where you're wondering, like, what? Come on. You're not Dan Marino, and even Dan Marino doesn't do that throw because even he knows he can't do that. So what are you doing?
Now a handoff here to his running back. And a short gain there as he'll get it up only to about the 24.
So the Vikings do not have a first down, but they lead 7-3. As best era football goes along, certainly comment if you want on who you think's going to win this whole thing. We're in week 3 now. The Vikings were broadcasted week 1 against the Saints. They were not broadcast in week 2, but they had a much closer game, but their offense was still very solid against the Steelers. And now you're watching them here against the Bucks. If they win this game, it's 3-0. And you might start thinking, yes, my pick is the 98 Vikings to win this best era. Of course, the division they play in is the one thing that might turn you off on that, as the 96 Packers are also undefeated. And the 85 Bears are also a very good team, but they happen to be in 3rd place.
Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be second down.
As diverse as the running game has become in the NFL, there's still a place for the fullback position. And on that play, he gained nice yardage.
2nd and 5, the Bucks could use a nice long touchdown drive here.
Now they'll switch it up here.
Dilfer in trouble. Down he goes. Well, the Minnesota Vikings offense has no first downs, but the defense has 4 sacks and a pick 6. Turnover forced, a touchdown scored, 4 sacks. And there's a nice throw by Dilfer, and that picks up a first down. That's Green again, who has been the preferred target so far. They needed that. They need to work on this clock some more. And obviously they need some more points.
No gain on the play. It'll be second down. And if you're the defense and those D tackles, you like that they're trying to run the football here against your 4-3, don't you?
Yeah, because they tend to eat things up because they are so strong and physical, and especially when they play with leverage. When they
The Vikings are keying out on the work done, that is for sure.
And what I love about the good defensive tackle, they can play over the guards. They can
think about it. If you're Tony Dungy, your game plan is keep the ball away from Cunningham. The Bucs have had the ball for about 17 of the first 20 minutes of the game. Your defense has not allowed a first down by the super-powered 98 Vikings offense. And you look at the scoreboard and you trail 7-3. Oh, and there's false start on everyone but the center.
My list of fullbacks, pure fullbacks.
Looks like most of the team thought they were going to do a quick snap on the Vikings, but the center was not having it.
It doesn't matter what you call a position, it's who you put there, and there we saw completion.
Dilfer now. Fires down the middle. He's got his man again, and that's Bert Emanuel, I believe. Who's the injury on? There was an injury. Bert Emanuel was indeed the man on the other end of that pass. There's a handoff. Worked up, 7 carries, only 4 yards. If this ends in the touchdown, it was basically the perfect answer by the Bucks. They've already taken a lot of time off the clock. Now they need to end it with a touchdown. Worked on again, nothing. Well, Dilfer has thrown 1 touchdown pass. Let's see if he can throw one to his own team now.
So that doesn't help. Now they're looking up at a 3rd and 9 situation.
3rd and 9. Here comes the pressure, and Dilfer can't. Oh, he does get it away. That was a nice throw by Dilfer on his way down. I thought for sure he was sacked. He got it away to Dunn. He's not going to be able to first down, but that was a good play to avoid the sack. Got back to the line of scrimmage, and now Martin Gramatica will come out for his 2nd field goal attempt. And he puts that home. So the pick 6 was definitely horrible, but halfway through the 2nd quarter, they are still in this game, 7-6.
That's equal to an extra point nowadays, and those are no problem for an NFL kicker.
And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line.
Vikings going with Randy Moss as the returner today.
Results for them so far not that great. Well,
98 Vikings have 15 total yards and the lead.
What you're doing is you're looking at your play sheet, trying to figure out what you're going against
Cunningham now.
defensively.
He overthrows Glover. And I don't know if the defense is confusing Cunningham or he's just a little amped up or something, but he has not been on target so far. Hand up to Robert Smith. He will break a tackle, and the very quick Tampa Bay defense recovers. Make sure he doesn't do anything with that broken tackle. Rondé Barber, the best corner on the team, is injured, but they still, I mean, they go 3 or 4 deep on good corners. They have a great defensive line. Very good defense. Derek Brooks, of course, is one of the fastest linebackers of all time.
It goes as a gain of 8 that moves the chains.
Vikings get their first down of the game. And there you see the Colts taking the lead on the 86 Browns. It's the 87 Colts against the 86 Browns. Cunningham slings it downfield. Now he's got a man. That's the biggest play of the game for the Vikings so far, biggest offensive play. Obviously, the pick 6 has been the biggest play of the game, but now the Vikings are moving the ball.
And there's a completion to the tight end, and look at the size of these players nowadays.
Not just like what Tampa's on offense, and you need to put the ball in the end zone every time on defense. You know the Vikings are going to do 2 things, get a lot of yards and put up a lot of points. Your best hope is to reduce their yardage somewhat, but mostly force them to kick field goals instead of touchdowns. And don't turn the ball over, but it's too late for that.
Make a move in that direction. Then you really don't run the route against the whole body of the defender.
3rd and 8. This is a big play. Gary Anderson from 53. He's very accurate, but he's not super strong. I think from 53 he can still do it. But the sack is absolutely what they needed. Oh no. Oh, that is disastrous for the Vikings. The sack is bad. That takes him out of field goal range, but Cunningham is hurt. They have a pretty capable backup in Brad Johnson, but I mean Cunningham was an MVP type of player.
The Vikings send out their punter. He's been terrific
So a big sack knocks him out of field goal range, keeps it a 1-point game, and now there's starting to be questions on the Vikings side as they haven't scored an offensive point, and their starting quarterback is being looked at on the sidelines. Berger gets out of bounds at 14. Dilfer comes out in the shot.
But you gotta like what they've been doing along the way, right?
Give it to work done. He picks up a few. He's at 8 yards on 9 carries. The Bucs are required to hand the ball off at least 25 times this game, regardless of how much yards they're getting. And up again, and there's a little bit of a hole, and Dunn gets the first down. Best carry of the day for Ward Dunn.
That's a good, nice, crisp run for a first down. I wonder if the defense might have been loosened up a little bit, maybe anticipating a pass instead of the run that they got.
Play action pass. Stilfer slings it downfield. He's got his no. Did he catch it? He does hold on to it. First down up to midfield. Moore with his 4th catch. Dave Moore. Of course, the starting tight end started all 16 games for the 99 Buccaneers. Not a superstar or anything like that, but definitely a solid player. Not amazing. He's a good blocker, decent receiver, you know, basically solid in all aspects, not great at anything, not really terrible at anything. 2-minute warning now. Dilfer throws it on the money. Is that Moore again? It is. So Moore has been the man today. And Dilfer's up to 170 yards, 12 of 15 for 170 yards. If not for the pick 6, the Bucs would be winning this game, and Dilfer would be on his way to Offensive Player of the Week.
They nabbed the rookie there for the 5-yard penalty.
False start, and you just see, I mean, with that pick 6, with these holding and false start penalties, you're just wondering, like, the Bucs can get off the schneid here. They are playing a great game, but then they make a couple mistakes here and there, and you just have this feeling like they're making too many mistakes and it's going to end up costing them. They've held the ball the entire first half for the most part. It looks like they're going to take the lead. Just no more mistakes, guys. Dilfer, quick drop. And that's a little too low. Keeping it low might have been a good idea, though, as there was defenders in the area. Make someone miss in the open field. Oh my gosh, Dilfer. It's the mistakes. The Bucs are just amped up, and they are playing the best game that you could imagine against the 98 Vikings. But 2 interceptions by Dilfer, and they're still losing. And here's great news. Cunningham's back out there. Just had the wind knocked out of him.
He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
And so the best news for the Vikings, I mean, it's unbelievable that they're winning, but the best news is that they will get most likely into the locker room knowing that their starting quarterback is still healthy. Now there's the Vikings calling timeout. Maybe partially out of pride, as they just can't believe they only have a couple first downs in this first half. Tony Dungy thinking, what does he do? Dilfer definitely gives him a more capable looking offense, but the turnovers have cost them at least 10 points. The Bucs defense continues to roll, causing the Vikings to punt again. Berger might be punting more in this first half than he has in the entire season so far. And this is a boomer. Nice couple moves, though, by Mr. Green, Jacques Green.
Now the Buccaneers offense
Gets it out to the 35-yard line. Dilfer comes out. 2 interceptions is basically the reason the Bucs are not winning. But he's going to come out throwing. And almost throws another one, and I don't know. I mean, it's awesome if your quarterback can shake all this stuff off and still have supreme confidence, but can that possibly be true, or does Dundee just need to call some kneel plays here? They're going to let him go. I guess you have to do anything you can to avoid being 0-3, so just let him keep shooting. Or you know what, just keep going to Dave Moore. That seems to be working. 6 catches for 96 yards. Dilfer fires across the middle, and that time Moore drops the ball. So another mistake. And Moore's been great, but on a critical 3rd down, he's unable to hold on to the ball. And I don't even know what Tony Dungy's going to say at halftime. Team, take away that drop, a couple picks, and a couple false start penalties, and they've played perfect. Defense is giving you everything it wanted. The offense is giving you a spark. Dilfer has played well in stretches, and then you are going to go in the locker room down by a point.
I think he's hoping for a little bit more production out of himself.
We often talk about preaching patience to a runner when things are a little bumpy in the early.
It's Robert Smith. He only has 5 yards in the first half.
They can't wait to halftime to make the adjustments. They have to do it
So, okay. I think they're going to go overtime. Is Cunningham going to snap it? They do snap it. Give Smith one more try to get yards, but he loses yards. So he actually is going to go into the locker room with less than 5 yards. Well, the Bucs defense has been fantastic. The offense has looked better than it did under King, but Dilfer's ability to throw interceptions has shown you why he didn't start the season as the quarterback.
He's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line.
Bucs will start with the ball, so we'll see if Dilfer comes back out. He's done enough good things. I think you got to keep him out there, and they do. Dungy does keep him out there. Just stop with the interceptions. That's probably the halftime speech. Like, hey, we can beat these guys. Stop doing dumb things.
Sure, you've got to go over some of the errors and clean up some things because there's a reason you're down. But overall, I think they want to stay positive, stay up with this team. We're just starting the second half, and we've got the football. Let's go ahead and punch it in, and then we'll take it.
And anytime you see the Vikings like you did in week 1, you know there's a chance they're putting 40 on the board. I don't know if anyone expected a 7-6 game here in the 3rd quarter, but that's why you play the game. Especially if I told you that in the 3rd quarter the Tampa Bay Buccaneers would have only 6 points and Dilfer will have thrown a pick 6. What do you think the score would be? I doubt anyone would say, yep, 7-6. The Vikings offense would not score a point.
A good gain of 14 there, and it moves the chains.
Tampa Bay has 262 yards of offense, but only 6 points. Dilfer now, across the middle. Did he hold on? No. The collision jars it loose. 2nd and 10. Orlando Thomas, one of the big hitting safeties. Oh, Dilfer misses on that throw. 3rd and 10. Bucs not in field goal range yet. Oh, Dilfer almost got him to jump. Looked like he got back in time, and now he scrambles and wisely throws it away. So Dilfer not forcing the interception. That is good because the punter can at least get it down to the 20. Maybe he'll come up with another special punt that gets him down inside the 10. Oh, he has a problem getting it off. It's going to be blocked. And another mistake made by the Buccaneers. Oh my gosh. The Buccaneers defense has held the 98 Vikings to under 50 yards of offense and 0 points. But a pick six and now a punt blocked in return for a touchdown. And it's the offense and special teams that are giving up the points. And the Vikings lead 14-6. And their offense hasn't really done anything yet. A record-breaking offense contributes nothing. And they're still up by 8. Does that say more about how great the 98 Vikings are? And how you should be picking them to win it all? Or does that say why the Bucks are on their way to 0-3? If the score holds, of course, we have the Vikings being the first team to get to 3-0, and the Bucks joining the 99 Jaguars at 0-3. Makes you start to wonder about those teams from 1999. Jags are 0-3. These Bucks are 0-2. Looking like they're going to 0-3. 99 Titans are 1-1, but their only win was against the 99 Jags. So no 99 team has beaten a team from a different year. It's not true because the 99 Rams are also in there. So the 99 Rams, of course, a very good team. And that's knocked away by Hitchcock at the last minute. And the Bucks will punt. The Bucks have not scored a touchdown. Let's see here. Last week they only scored 3 total. They have 6 here today, so that's at least 6 quarters. Trying to think in week 1. What was the score of that game? I do think they scored a touchdown in that game. I just don't remember when. So it's been at least 6 quarters. But the Buccaneers having a hard time finding the end zone. And now they may have lost their running back work done. Robert Smith. Spin move gets him across the line of scrimmage.
Just a gain of a yard there, and now it'll be 3rd down. The Vikings on 3rd down.
This record offense has 55 yards of total offense. Cunningham from the shotgun. Waiting for someone to get open. And he will get sacked by White. And the Vikings will punt again. Steve White with the sack. It was really a coverage sack as Cunningham kept waiting and waiting. Then he decided to get out and try to buy more time, but White tripped him up before he could reload and get the throw off.
The Vikings send out their punter as they're forced to kick for the 6th.
And if you could ignore the pick 6 and the special teams gaffes by the Buccaneers, you would see a 6-0 game right here and recognize that up to this point, this might be the best defensive game played in best era football. But when it's not a shutout, when it's not 6-0, it's hard to recognize that because you see 14-6, and you're like, sure, they've been pretty good, but nothing special. This has been a special performance by the 99 Buccaneers defense. And unfortunately, they are, I wouldn't say it's in desperate mode yet, but they need some things to happen if they're even going to get out of here with a win. There's the other game that will be featured, the Dolphins and the Jets. Delper slings it downfield, and it's caught. Dave Moore Well, last third down they went to him. He dropped a ball, which was a much easier catch than that one, so he made up with it with a very good catch.
So for that big gain, let's see what else the offense has up its sleeve. Here's a play fake as they set up to throw.
Dilfer rolls out, still looking. He's going to tuck it and run. He won't get the first, but he does get a few yards, up to 49 yards scrambling now.
It's an 8-yard pickup, and it's a second.
So between the throwing and running of Dilfer, he's gotten the Bucks over 200 yards of offense. But the 2 interceptions have cost him 10 points. And now, no matter what, he cannot turn the ball over here. The Bucks are actually over 300 yards of total offense, but only 2 field goals so far, no turnovers. Last time they were down here, of course, Dilfer turned it over. Trying to get at least a field goal.
And he'll at least get him inside the red zone here, down to about the 19.
Work done is still on the sidelines. We're not sure how major of an injury it is, but it appears that Abdullah will be the back for the rest of the game. And that is a first down, but there's a flag. That was Fred McAfee on that carry. But it doesn't matter because Gruber gets called for holding. So McAfee's going to get some carries. Allstott will line up as the tailback sometimes. Right now he's the fullback. And there's another flag, and please tell me that's not holding again. Back-to-back holding penalties. What is the deal? The Bucks are playing so hard. The game plan has been amazing by Tony Dungy. But we've had a pick six, another interception in the red zone that cost him 3 points, a special teams play where the punter gets it blocked in return for a touchdown, and now they're in field goal range. Back-to-back holding penalties. They lose 20 yards, and a 3rd and 27. They need at least probably 7 yards to get back into field goal range. Just continuing to shoot themselves in the foot. Dilfer, they'll go for the short one to Allstott. He will pick up the yardage needed for the field goal. So Gramatica at least has a chance from 46. Martin Gramatica trying for his 3rd field goal in as many quarters. It is good. So all the mistake the Bucks have made, they're still in this thing, 14-9. Well, if you're a Bucks fan or you just are like me, a fan of someone else in the North Division, and you want the Vikings to lose a game, this is one of the most frustrating things you've ever seen. The Bucks, for 90% of this game, the Bucks have been the superior team, but they trail by 5. The Vikings only have 45 yards. The Viking offense has 45 yards, and they're winning by 5.
Not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working.
2 minutes left in the 3rd quarter, 14-9 Vikings. Moss in motion. They'll hand it off. There's a block. And a first down rushing from Robert Smith, his first one. And he's up to 14 yards on the day.
Receiver who likes to block more than catching the football, but the best ones.
Play action pass now. Quick screen pass over to Randy Moss, who makes one man miss, picks up another first down. And these Vikings don't need much. Back-to-back first downs. See if they turn into their machine offense and just run through the Bucks now. I don't think they'll run through the Bucks. The Bucks have been playing so well on defense. But you know the Vikings are going to get an offensive touchdown at some point.
Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down.
Who would have thought the Bucks would have 4 yards passing for every one that the Vikings had? Well, that's the end of the third quarter. The Vikings have put a the Vikings have allowed a field goal in each of the quarters. A total of 9 points, but they've also gotten a pick six and a blocked punt return for a touchdown. So they have had their offense do absolutely nothing, and they're still winning the game. There's Leroy Horde. Leroy Horde coming up. His first carry of the game.
I like a guy who understands the situation. I also like a guy who you look at him and you say,
I don't think Chris Carter has a catch today. I don't think Jake Reed has a catch today. Cunningham rolls out. He could run for it, but instead he slings it to the middle of the field, and it's knocked away. And so there's one of the difference. The younger Cunningham certainly would have ran for it. 98 Cunningham, always looking downfield. And in that one particular case, it would have been better just to run and get the first down. But, I mean, the way this team is built with their super receivers. Oh, look at this. Oh, the punter had a hard time handling that snap. And I thought the Bucs were going to be able to get in and block it. But Berger pulls it together at the last minute and gets the punt off. And that's a big play. And that's the difference of the game so far. It's the Bucs are dominating in a lot of ways, but when there's a chance to either pull it together and not make a great play, but just avoid making a mistake, the Vikings have been able to do it where the Bucs have gone ahead and let the mistake happen. Total yards 312 for the Bucs, 72 for the Vikings, who come into today with one of the top 5 offenses in the best era of football. They won't leave with that, that's for sure.
Especially in a game of this magnitude, this tight in the fourth quarter, got to feel pretty good as a defense.
There's Abdullah with a 2-yard reception. Allstott joins Dilfer back there now. He'll be the protector. Fake it to him. Allstott does pick up a blitz, but nobody picks up John Randall. And Allstott, of course, is only one man, not two, so he had to pick up the blitzer, and Randall able to get through his man and take down Dilfer. And now the Bucs are punting from their end zone, still losing. He does get it away. Pretty good punt. Oh, a nice move. The problem is he ran into his own man, and that causes Palmer to go down after just a 5-yard return. Well, the Bucs have done everything on defense except for force a turnover. Let's see if they can force one here. Or will the Vikings offense finally break them down? They're starting to get more first downs. They just haven't scored an offensive point yet.
This game moves along.
Burst seems just as good here in the fourth as it was way back in the first, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition.
And up to Smith and blown up by Hardy Nickerson.
Knocked down hard, right at the line of scrimmage.
It's real easy to say this running game needs to be better, but the reality is they've been given little time to actually find a place to run the football. It's almost like the defense is there on the handoff.
Cunningham now, he's got time. He finds, is that Chris Carter? That is Chris Carter with his first reception of the game. And now the Vikings are in position to score their first offensive points of the game. If it's a touchdown, this game might be over. If it's a field goal, the Bucs are still in it, but they would like to force a turnover if possible. Cunningham puts it there, and Lynch does not come up with the interception. Oh, Lynch is going to want that one back. That was the play. And now the Vikings play it safe and hand it off. Robert Smith averaging about 2 yards a carry. The Vikings know, though, that they're lucky to even be leading, and if they can put 3 more points on the board, that puts pressure on the Bucs. And when there's pressure on the Bucs, except for any other group but defense, they tend to make mistakes. That was a very smart play by Cunningham there. Got exactly enough for the first down. No reason to risk a dangerous touchdown. Pride doesn't get in the way. The fact that they haven't put 400 yards of offense on the board doesn't matter. If they can win the game with only 120 yards of offense, so be it.
I like that run right there, partner. Not the flashiest run, not the one that's going to break for big yardage, but he understands.
Here's a formation for you.
And taking care of the football, paramount. He got it done.
Nursing that slim lead, you're exactly right. Hold on to that ball.
Leroy Horde getting close to the first down.
Yard short here with third down now looming.
But if you're going to have a relay race,
And this has been a very good drive by, not the typical 98 Vikings quick strike drives, but a nice long drive that is taking half the quarter off.
keeping a long drive going.
And Cunningham
Incomplete.
cannot come up with a touchdown pass, but they will give Gary Anderson a chip shot to make it a full 8-point lead.
Short, okay? They decide to throw the football. Incomplete. Yeah, they might have thought just a little bit too hard.
And it is good. 7:42 left in this one. The Vikings get their first offensive points of the game halfway through the fourth quarter, but they lead 17-9. And I think that's work done on the return. So Dunn comes back out, so it was not a major injury. He comes out, and he couldn't wait until the offense had the ball, so he takes the kick returner duties and does a good job out to the 34-yard line. Dilfer and the Bucks are 66 yards away, possibly tying this thing up. He'll spin out, throw it towards the sidelines, a little too high. 17 of 30, 230 yards. Those are the decent to good stats by Dilfer, but the two interceptions, including one that gave up a touchdown and the other one that took a field goal off the board for your team. But there, he gets away from a sack and gets the ball out. And that's the second time Dilfer has avoided a sack and made a nice completion to his running back. So he has definitely done some things. Even if they lose this game, I would certainly think that Dungy is going to stick with Dilfer because at least the offense can move the ball with him as the quarterback. Just unfortunately, they also turn it over. There's Dave Moore. He definitely loves the fact that Dilfer's the quarterback. 8 catches for 137 yards. I think that's more than he had in both the games with King as quarterback. Dilfer from the shotgun. He'll launch it, and on the money, touchdown. Dilfer has brought his team within 2. Nice throw there. 6:08 to go. What can the Bucks do here on the 2-point conversion attempt? This is a huge play. Dilfer from the shotgun, the arm of Trent Dilfer. He's going to have to decide this one. Oh, he avoids a sack again. Can he get the ball off? He cannot. He fumbles it. The Bucks do recover it to make sure the Vikings don't turn that into 2 points. But John Randall, Dilfer tried to get away from him, just nobody came open. He couldn't get the throw off, and Randall eventually ran him down.
This is taken at the 3. And he'll take this across the 25.
6 minutes to go. Vikings lead 17-15. Vikings' last drive was their best of the day, but they only have 119 total yards. So will they pop a 73-yarder here and make those stats look better, or will the Bucks defense get the ball back? Cunningham starts with a nice completion. He's now 12 of 21, still under 100 yards though. Well, as a Bears fan, I want the Vikings to lose, and just as a casual fan, I feel bad for the Bucks defense. They have done a better job than I ever thought they could do against this offense, but they still trail by 2. I mean, this game could easily be 18, 19, 20 to 3. Instead, it's 15 to 17.
And now whistles and a flag, and I think we got a jump here.
That's offsides on the Buccaneers. That gives the Vikings a first down. Special teams is allowed a touchdown. Dilfer threw a pick six, and the defensive line and offensive line has racked up penalties for the Bucks. And all those things put together has basically equaled the fact that their defense has shut down one of the best offenses in the era.
Second down now after the incompletion.
If they can stop them 2 more plays, though, and get the ball back, they can still win this thing. Cunningham shotgun, or play action. Throws it across the middle, gets his man. That's Randy Moss. And just like that, the Vikings are back in field goal range. The Bucks do need to stop into a field goal or else this thing's over. Leroy Horde, 9 yards on 3 carries now. Nothing on that one, though. We're down to 3 minutes and 20 seconds left. Vikings clinging to a 2-point lead. This play action pass. Cunningham rolls to his right. He's got time. He'll find his man underneath. That was Hunter Goodwin, the second tight end of the Vikings. And here's a big third down. If the Bucks can stop them, they can get the ball back. Still only down by 1 score with about 2.5 minutes to go or so. It's the handoff, and the Vikings get the first down. Robert Smith hasn't gotten many yards, but he gets that key third down conversion. And now the Vikings can start working on the clock.
How about this offensive line? They're really starting to establish themselves, take over this game. And before the series began,
and they'll come out and they'll hand off. He breaks a tackle, and he's inside the 5. Touchdown. Leroy Horde puts it in the end zone, and that is going to put the 99 Buccaneers away. Assuming Gary Anderson makes this point after, I don't see any way of the Bucks coming back. It's good. Well, the Vikings offense does nothing till the 4th quarter, but then they are able to put 10 points on the board. And with the other gaffes that the Bucks have made, that's going to be enough in this one. Your 98 Vikings are going to be 3-0. 99 Buccaneers are going to be 0-3, barring any kind of crazy play within the next minute here. The Bucks really need to score at least a field goal before they have to use any of their timeouts. I think it's much more likely that Dilfer turns the ball over than that happening. Dilfer up to 298 yards with a touchdown pass. But the 2 interceptions are the killer. And even with those 2 interceptions, if the punt wasn't blocked and returned for a touchdown, they would still only need a field goal to win this thing. Moore drops that one. He's made 8 catches, but he's also dropped a couple.
Super flashy plays very often, but he's pretty reliable. Usually an excellent target and normally catches with
Dilfer now 3rd and 8. Does he have any magic left? Well, he's got turnovers left. That's interception number 3 thrown, and that is the nail in the coffin. The Bucks might use their timeouts. I guess I would. I mean, 9 points, you still have to assume you have a chance, but it's over. Leroy Horde gets a couple more yards. The Bucks do call a timeout. If you're the Vikings, you know the Bucks can't score twice in the last 2 minutes. You know, score, get an outside kick, and score again. So just run the ball 3 times, let them use their timeouts. And if Robert Smith can pick up a first down, no. They close in on him and take him down. Bucks defense giving everything they got. It's timeout number 2, 3rd and 6. For the Vikings, you just take that last timeout and punt it down inside the 5. Horde breaks a tackle, but does not get the first down. Now, by breaking the tackle and getting the extra yards, they do have Gary Anderson is in range of a field goal here. Let's see if they take it. Yeah, they will try the field goal.
He was true on
Try to
his
put 3
first,
more
missed a
points
tough
on the
one
board.
from 49 yards away.
Kick is up, and it is good. So just like that, I mean, the Buccaneers dominate the Vikings offense for 3 quarters. But then the Vikings put 13 points up in the last quarter, as well as 14 points scored because of Bucks' mistakes. And maybe the worst offensive game you're going to see the 98 Vikings play this year. And they still put 27 points up. Offense looked great when they put 40 up in week 1. They looked great again, but only put 28 points. That was more of the Steelers' just ball control, not letting them have the ball very often. And then this one, the Vikings offense looks like they are, dominated for 3 quarters. And still get 27 points on the board. Dilfer completes another one. Dilfer up to 329 yards passing. If they can clean up the interceptions, the Bucks might be able to still save their season, but they're going to be in a hole at 0-3. On paper, the good news for the Bucks is they're in one of the divisions that has no Super Bowl champion. The NFC South has these Bucks, the Carolina Panthers of '96, the Falcons of '91, and the Saints of '92. None of them even made it to the Super Bowl. So it is, by some estimations, the easiest division in best era football. That's the good news. The bad news is the '96 Panthers forgot to get the memo, and they've started off 2-0, which means these Bucks are about to fall 2.5 games behind. And on 4th and 5, another mistake by the Bucks. False start will make it a 4th and 10.
Keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it.
Dilfer fires, and he's got his man across the 20. It's a touchdown. A big play from the Buccaneers. Dilfer moves a little bit and then puts the ball on the money. A missed tackle on the Vikings defense. And this game's going to end with Dilfer over 350 yards throwing and 2 touchdowns. If you take the interceptions away from the scoreboard and the Dilfer stats, then he's player of the week and the Bucks upset the Vikings. Instead, he's still going to maintain his starting job, I'm sure. But they're going to just be, hey, nice effort, but you still lost. 0-3. Look at the Colts. Browns still tied with just a minute to go, 16-16. Cunningham will just come out for his favorite play, the kneel. He will have to kneel twice, I think. Yeah. One more kneel will put this thing away. Your 98 Vikings are 3-0. The 99 Buccaneers are 0-3. We'll be back later this week to bring you the 84 Dolphins, who will also try to remain undefeated against the 85 Jets, who do not want to repeat what the Bucks did and start off 0-3. Dungy had the right game plan, but mistakes cost him. Vikings win 27-22. Thanks for watching, everyone. Have a good day.
And they'll have another home date next week as the Detroit Lions come to town. Meanwhile, for the Bucks, the early struggles continue as they'll sink to 0-3. And they will be at home next week to take on the New York Giants.